Now making it print something out here is all good and well, but the user doesn't see it, no one really cares about it. So we're going to make that button press do something a little bit fancier. And that's going to be to actually change our text in our scene. Sounds a bit tricky, but it's not actually going to be too bad. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go back to my user interface script. Now, what I want to be able to do is use Unity's UI library, it is called. So at the top here, I'm going to say using Unity engine dot UI. So what I'm saying is, hey, this script is going to use stuff from the Unity UI engine. Okay. Now, up in the very top of my class is where we can make these things called variables. Variables hold information of a particular type. The thing with Unity is we can actually assign things to these variables in the inspector just by dragging stuff in or typing in different values. So what I want to do, my goal is to change some of this text when I click a button. So the first thing I need to be able to do is assign the actual text objects so I can change them. So I'm going to make a new variable, public. Now I'm going to call it text. And you can see here it says Unity Engine UI.text. So I'm going to make a new text item, and I'm going to call it weather description. Now you'll notice all one word here. When I've gone to a second word, I've used a capital letter. It's called camel case. So I've made a public text object weather description. I'm going to make a public text. I'm going to say day text. You might see where this is going. Public text. What am I thinking of here? Low text. Public text. High text. Public text. Location text. Okay. Now you'll see I haven't repeated or used the same variable name, because remember this holds information. So if I made two variables of the same name, it would have no idea which one to use. So there has to be unique. Now I put a little thing in called a comment here just to kind of organize this stuff a little bit. I'm going to call this text UI items 2. So now I'm going to minimize this. I've saved it. I'm going to minimize it. I'm going to have a little look at what happened to my user interface script on my object here. You'll see over here, it's got all these empty things for me that I can now assign. Now it's expecting a text object in the inspector here to be dragged in. Weather description. Which one of these bits of text is going to be the weather description? Well, I'm going to go to my weather information. Weather text. So I'm going to click and drag weather text into the weather description text box there. Click and drag my day text over. Click and drag I don't want my low text, I want the value. The low value here, the high value here, and my location value in here. I've now assigned now that the code knows when I say weather description, I can actually access and change the weather description text up here, any value that is on that text. What does that look like? Well, let's make this all change when we press a button, shall we? So I'm going to go back here. Now you know my debug hello world button right now, all it's doing is when I press it, it debugs out and says hello world. I'm going to make it change all of this text information instead. So how do I do that? One of my function that I already have assigned to that button, instead of saying hello world, I'm going to change the text values on all of the user interface text. So I'm going to say weather description dot little t for text equals cloudy. Little semicolon to finish that off. Okay, let's have a little look what that's going to do. So, sunny, Monday, low, high, all that kind of stuff. Press play. If I hit my previous day button, instead of debug logging something now, it should change my text values. Let's see what it does. Click. Updated it to be cloudy. So the button press changed the value of the text because that's what I told it to do. So I'm going to say day text dot text equals, well, that'll be Sunday here. And you notice I got little brackets because it's actually, I'm using something called a string. Low text equals 15. Higher text dot text equals 25. And let's say location text dot text equals Burley Waters Shore. Alright, so let's run this. I should see all of these text values change now because I've just programmed to do that when I click this button. Bam. It's changed all the values of that text. So I started to make my user interface a little bit smarter. Okay, it's actually able to change those values in real time. Now you notice it only changes once I hit the button. Remembers what it was starting out. Boop. Because I'm changing it via code. I'm not actually changing it using just typing it in here. But it's all because I assigned those values. I made some values for it and I assigned it, and now I can change it as much as I want. So in the next one, I'm going to show you how to change this little image here as well. But I'm going to leave it at that for now.